Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. So let's continue explore supposedly Neolithic character. Qi is today's character, and Qi is still very active Chinese character till today. But it came in ancient time, and we can see that contemporary and the contemporary two versions simplified, which used in mainland China, and traditional, which used in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and probably overseas Chinese communities. They look the same. And this is 2000 years ago's dictionary. That's structurally the same with the detail. That's the dog character looks different. So the contemporary dog is just the character of big plus a dot. So it's hard for me as a Chinese learner to imagine what's the relationship between a dog and a pig? Like why it's even um, related in its writing. And so it turned out it's simply for the simplification purpose to render originally this looking thing to map it onto the character big. It has nothing to do with big. Big as a concept is made of two strokes combined by one vertical line. To me, that's bigger than because it double the volume or size of something by combining two parts together into one. Versus this one is a profile view of a dog image. So that's a convergence of imagery, two totally different things, and they look the same. And over millennia, that people just regard them as the same. So this dog is profile view. This is the fluid body of the dog, and here is the excuse me, the nozzle of the dog, and the top is the ear of the dog. So we have four mouse symbols. That's the same, right? Compare with that. Four mouse symbols. In the center is a dog image. So how to understand that? Dog surrounded by four mouse symbol. Okay, so according to scholar, this is not my imagination. That in ancient times, even if I translate it as instrument, qi in ancient times means kind of vessels or utensils or containers. And that's probably made either as bronze, more expensive version, or more fragile version as clay made containers. So it depends on your social status, right? What you can afford to. And most likely, this is somebody's burial ground. At least now we find such vessels of information from the past. We dig out from the underground to see the containers, the vessels as part of the decorations for the burial ground. And probably because that's related to Chinese understanding of afterlife. So you want to provide the utensils of that person's possible utensils to use underground. And we put a dog in the middle of that as the watcher of such utensils because I guess graveyard, what was the word for that? Tomb thieves. So it's an ancient profession, as ancient as the burial ground was not only the site for the dead body of your loved ones, but also treasures like such utensils or vessels. And I would imagine probably more expensive stuff buried underground to accompany that dead person supposedly in the afterlife, right? So it's not exactly dead well, as we currently understand it, but it's based on the ancient belief. So some people believe that, right? But at the same time, other people break the bubble of this storytelling, like, okay, the dead person have this wealth surrounded that, so tomb raiding or tomb digging became a profession as ancient as such tomb burial wealth practice. So that's my understanding of and the scholar's interpretation of the stock, watching it at least at the beginning, like not to lose your treasure over there. And a translate as instrument, probably this vessel, a container, not only used for the burial ground thing, it could be used for a ceremonial or something of value to your family, to your clan, that you're going to use such instruments to perform such worshiping practice. So this eventually get abstracted, more abstracted of utensil, wealth, container of a certain purpose or man-made stuff that's for some purpose, mostly useful and also probably carry some symbolic meaning, and it's essential to the cultural practice. Okay, expressions till today, 大器晚成. So we regard a grown person, a well-developed person, as 气. We say 成器, become this instrument or become this machinery. If we regard it, we pair it with 机器, it's machinery. So become this useful thing. And of course, people don't talk about the things, people talk about themselves. 大器, big instrument, means big useful things or grown-ups. That's useful. You make yourself useful. 晚成, you late, you form, you become that useful thing pretty late. So 大器晚成 normally is a Chinese way to say some high achievers came into their own person only late in life. They are late bloomers, so to speak. Okay, 气小易盈. Okay, this is not that common, but it's very understandable. If the vessel is small, and then it's easy to overspell. So from this expression, we can almost see this character often paired with 气度, or your vessel degree. So we oftentimes regard ourselves not only as somebody useful, right, but also as a container, a vessel. How much you can tolerate, how much you can absorb. So 气小 means 气量小 or 气度小. It means you have a very small, narrow tolerance for things that are going against your grain. So that in other words, you're easily pissed. And so 气小 is almost, you can use it as a reverse. 小气 means that you're not generous. You're really very self-centered. 气小易盈 means, okay, easily you can fill up to your upper boundary of what you can tolerate. So in the West, we like to talk about boundary, right? I just threw out the word boundary. So it's like your limit, what you can do. But Chinese point out that if you have a small vessel, if you visualize how much you can tolerate, you have a small, narrow tolerance, then it's easily you can get offended or you can get overspill. We use the water imagery fill in the vessel to say how much you can take, right? So Chinese as a culture in this expression set in the value of we encourage people to expand, to become a big vessel instead of a small one that you can easily fill to the top. You can easily reach your boundary, your upper containing volume. You want to expand that volume so that your 大气 means you have a big vessel, big container. You can take a lot. Okay, 朝廷弃之. Qi in this context becomes value. Morning court is 朝廷, and as a Chinese person, everybody will hear 朝廷 morning court. Everybody knows that means it's the royalty or the royal family or the ruler's office. Okay, so I guess it's Oval Office comparable in Chinese ancient times. So the emperor are going to hold the court in the mornings to make decisions, right? To hear report. So the main communication for decision-making purpose happen in morning. So 朝廷 is eventually formulated to become our like a top authority. So in ancient times, the emperor will be both the decision maker and also the judge, right? And the execution branch. So everything combined, integrated into one singular person and a whole courtroom of people reporting and carry out the words. So that's 朝廷 in ancient. So Oval Office, picture that. And 气质 means your value. And I translate it as them because it's not gender specific, but most likely man, right? 气质 means you value them. 朝廷, even if it starts from an instrument or a vessel or a container, in this context, like you regard somebody as a useful person, right? Just like this 大器晚成, regard somebody as this useful instrument. To carry out your purpose, your mission. Because in ancient leaders, they understand too that you need powerful or efficient or useful person in general to carry out your court, to carry out your order. So 朝廷体制 simply means the top leader of the country or the top ruler of the country value that particular person with a certain talent. So 气, even if today I translate it as instrument and I show you, the symbol of the instrument of today, but I guess it applied to the ancient Neolithic age. It may not be such intricate as a music instrument that everything has to be done exactly right, right? But it still nonetheless could be some intricate instrument that fulfills certain purpose. And the people value that, and the people use that instrument on ourselves to say we want to become some useful vessel. And we want 成器, we want to become some instrument of sorts. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.